All right, so I am here with another update on building my health supplement company, OMNI². I am in this cool park today in Porto, in Portugal, where I just moved. So I'm doing a little bit of a standing up vibe today. I'm gonna share a few updates, and then I'm gonna share some rules about reaching out to people to ask them to help you promote your product, or just kind of network, I guess. I hate that word, but it is what it is. So first of all, I am still waiting for my next batch of samples for the product. Tomorrow, it's going to be 3 weeks since they sent it from the US. And I've just now gotten a taste of sort of Portuguese bureaucracy because I had to clear the parcel through customs here, and it takes forever for them to even get to the application. And now that finally got through, they're saying that it's going to take up to 10 days, 10 working days more for it to arrive. So it's hard to accept this reality. Sometimes it really drives me crazy how long it takes for the iterations on this product. And it really is a big disadvantage of me being in Europe and then producing and developing the product in the US. It would be much faster if I was in the US. And I'm trying not to fall into victim mentality here, or become feeling that this is hopeless, because it's just the reality of doing what I'm trying to do. I don't regret launching in the US, even though I don't live there, at least not right now. Because it's just a natural thing. I've always gravitated towards the US for various reasons, just personally. I have my network there, mostly, and it's just such a great market for this product. So I just have to accept the reality of the product development is much slower than it would have been if I was based in the US. And yeah, just trying to make sure that I do everything I can to not lose even a day, if I can, if I can help it. So that's kind of the sad or frustrating news. But again, I am trying to stay positive and just focus on what I can do. And what I can do right now is trying to get as many people interested as possible, and sort of, just trying to grow the awareness and the brand already before even the product is real. And so I'm doing two things for that. One thing is I'm doing a bunch of different experiments to collect email addresses for my waitlist, and that's going really well. I might share some more details in another video on that, but it's a super interesting sort of opportunity that I think hides in plain sight for a lot of people, to just get a bunch of email signups in various ways, and making sure that you qualify those people so that it's actually a very high chance or likelihood that they will buy when you actually launch the product. So that's one thing I'm doing. The other thing I'm doing, which is the theme of this video and what I wanted to talk about more in detail, is outreach to various prominent people in my case, the health space, and sort of adjacent. I'm launching this product for people who are athletes, entrepreneurs, or artists, or creatives. That's kind of that's the archetype I'm going for. It's this specific person who is both creative, but also does some sort of sport or activity very seriously, and also is very interested in success in business and all this stuff. This overachiever, essentially, high achieving person. So I'm reaching out to a bunch of people like that, and this like kind of cold outreach or semi-warm outreach is actually something I'm very good at. It's one of the few things I would say that I'm very good at. I got to practice a lot with my last company that I ran. We built health apps for these different health professionals who had a following online, just to help them sort of engage with and serve more people than they could with just one-on-one coaching or whatever. I think I shared this in an early video. That didn't end up working that well. We did find a way to sell the company and everything, but yeah, it wasn't a huge success or anything. But I did get a chance to reach out to all these people who are now also in a lot of ways in my target group, so to speak. And so far I have like a 50% success rate, I would say, with people I outreach to. Most of that is cold outreach, which is, I would say, it's pretty insanely high. And I am currently in agreement or like close to like deep in discussions with several people who have, you know, many hundreds of thousands of followers or even millions of followers. And perhaps more importantly, people who have like networks of other people who are big on social media and stuff, in this specific niche that I am trying to build in. So I'm just going to share 6 rules that I think are very useful when you're trying to do outreach like this. And the first one, which is actually, let's call that number 0, is to have a great product or, you know, service or whatever you're trying to sort of promote. Or maybe you aren't trying to promote something, then I would say it's a little bit easier sometimes. But sometimes maybe more difficult because you don't have a specific thing to tie your message to. But the very first thing to start with is to actually have a great product, something interesting that these people that you're reaching out to, that it's like actually valuable or interesting for them to even consider. Because if you're reaching out with this like generic thing, like why would they even bother? You know, that's the first thing is to, and it's just the first thing in all of business, I would say, is just to have a great product. You have to start there. Everything else becomes much easier when you do that. And then the first official rule that I'm going to share is to start with your social web. Start climbing your social web, you could say. And what I mean by that is that basic like human psychology is that we're not really interested usually we're not really interested in interacting with people that we don't know or trust. And so if you can just find some connection, something where it's like, you know, someone that they admire, you know, someone that they know, or you had some sort of encounter with them before, just tie yourself into their, you know, social web, or hopefully you share the same social web for in some capacity. Always lead with that, because people, like, we're very much, it's just a survival mechanism, right? Like, we don't trust people that we don't trust. And so just find something that makes it seem like you are a friend and not an enemy. That's the first thing. And also, like, if you don't have a big network, that can be true, you know, like, obviously some people have huge and valuable networks. I have a pretty big network, I would say, in certain ways, but it's not near as some other people have. But like, no matter where you're at with that, I would say that you probably know more people than you think when you consider the fact that you don't have to know them personally necessarily. It's just about finding connections, either with people you know, or like with something you've done, some project that this person have made or created that you were a part of, something like that, you know. Rule number 2 is actually to name drop whenever possible. It's kind of on the same theme. And when I say name drop, I don't mean the cringe type where you're just trying to gonna appear to try too hard to look cool and everything. It's not for that purpose. it is the same purpose to like build credibility and build affinity to this person. If you know someone, again, that they know, like for me, I have an easy job with this, because I know like a very famous or prominent person that this person that I am trying to reach out to also knows. I also have a famous investor in this company, so like I can just sort of hint at that or say explicitly. And that's going to help me build credibility so that they know that I'm serious and that my product is serious. That's the only reason. I'm not trying to look cool or sound cool. It's just to build credibility. So that's number 2. Number 3 is to make the other person that you're reaching out to feel special somehow. And the way that I do this is to pay them a genuine compliment. That's always good practice to do. And I say genuine, like I don't mean just do it for the sake of it. Like if you don't have anything genuine to say, then probably it's not a good idea to reach out to this person at all. But yeah, usually leave some sort of genuine compliment. And then in my case, I'm just usually trying to offer them to send my product before we launch, or like include them early in the process, because the combination of it being a very cool and interesting product, like new interesting product, that they are, if I get it right with like who I'm reaching out to, they will already be interested in this cool new product. And then if I say, get involved early, I'm happy to send you a bag before everyone else, that makes them feel special. And that's really important. Number 4 is find your hook, and also keep it short. And what I mean by that is every product that's any good will have something unique about them, or usually like a few things, but there's usually one thing that stands out, and you just have to find a way to express that in a very short and concise way. And I think this can change over time as you understand your own product more and you interact with customers and stuff like that. But for me right now, what I use almost everywhere, and it works really well, is to just say AG1 ... but good. Because that is literally like the reason I created this product, was I saw AG1, and I love the idea behind that product, but I absolutely hate their ingredient, like their actual product, the ingredients and everything. I think it's a crappy product, to be honest. And I wanted to make something that was good. So that's what I'm doing, and it really resonates with people. I'm not sure if you know this, but like AG1 has been getting more and more scrutiny and like negative sort of comments, and yeah, I think people are sort of seeing through it a bit right now, or starting to, and so that's another good thing for me, like timing wise, where when I use that line, when I reach out to people, like in an email subject or something, people respond usually, or at least they read the message. Number 5 is to make it really low effort or commitment for the person. Your ask, I mean, you have to make your ask really low commitment for them. So for me, I'm not asking someone right away, before we've even gotten to know each other, so to speak. If you think about it from like a dating point of view, you don't ask someone to marry you on the first date. Like, I'm not going to ask them to like fully endorse my product and become like a part of the athlete team or whatever it is that you would want for the product. I'm just going to ask them, this is what it is. It's pretty cool. It's what I want to take every day myself. Would it be cool if I send you a bag before we launch? And if they are interested, they will probably take you up on that, because there's literally almost no cost for them. They don't even have to try it when it arrives. The only thing that they need to do is give me an address. And so obviously I'm thinking that it will evolve from there. If they really like the product, they will be very open probably to helping me promote it somehow. But that's the key, to keep it low effort and low commitment for them. And then number 6 and the last rule that I want to share is actually to make sure that you follow up, because this is quite easy if you're like me and you're kind of, especially in the beginning when you're not used to reaching out like this, it can be pretty harsh to get a lot of rejection, which you will inevitably get when you try to reach out to people like this. And it's very easy to like give yourself the excuse of like, you tried, it didn't work, and let's move on. But if you're trying to reach out to someone, it's probably someone who is somehow important or prominent or, sort of successful person. And that type of person is very busy usually. And so like it can sometimes be as easy as just sending the exact same message in the exact same way twice, and then they respond and it's like you didn't even send the first message, The only caveat here is to like find the balance. Like you can't be the guy who sends 5 different messages in a short amount of time, because then you're probably gonna ruin that relationship forever. But just don't forget that sometimes it's just a matter of they saw the message, but they got busy with something else, and then they forgot about it or whatever. It can definitely be worth following up. That's my point. Those were the 6 rules for doing outreach. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next week or the week after. All right.